Hello, I'm back with you today to share this watercolor card that I have done for the color challenge that I'm a guest of. The colors that they've asked us to use for this particular week is, let me see, I gotta open the document because I don't remember the names. Bermuda Bay, Crushed Curry, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. I should have had that open, I'm sorry. In any event, I've used my watercolor palette for my colors, and I'm using Schmanky watercolors as well as Daniel Smith. I've got Naples Yellow, Indian Yellow, Scarlet Red, phthalo green and phthalo turquoise, cadmium yellow, May green that I've used. I started out doing the yellow ones and then went on to the kind of turquoise color. It's the phthalos I've used, I mixed them together to give it that Bermuda Bay look, I call it. I do a couple layers of the watercolor to add some depth and more color, of course, to the flowers. And I stamped these just where it felt like they would fit nicely. Some of them I'm going to paint, most of them, except for I think I don't paint the leaf, and I don't paint a couple of the strays that come in off the end, like the one at the bottom or the one at the in the middle where it's right beside the turquoise one right now, to just upper of the turquoise. I don't paint that either, so I just leave those in the watercolor paper, which is an ivory color. I thought it would just get too much with them all painted, and then it would also make it uneven, which it would make it even, and I like everything to be uneven, so I think I end up with 9 painted flowers, and of course that fits in just perfectly. So I go on along here. I've tried to cut out as much as I can, but as well give you an idea how I add my colors. I'm doing a dry on, it's dry paper and wet brush, of course. I start with the phthalo green and then move to the turquoise afterwards to get that color that I want. I could have even added more to get them darker, but I think it works out okay in the end. It seems that as much as I try, I always have too much of this part showing, and then it's radio silence. So you'll have to forgive me. Hopefully one of these days I'll get a little bit better. I'm losing my voice today too. Not the best day. My bird is deciding that she needs to speak to me right now, so that's who you hear twerping in the background. I really like this color. The phthalo green is really pretty. It's one of my favorite colors of the Daniel Smith paints that I have. Of course, they're very expensive here in Canada. So when I do buy them, I buy them from Jackson's Art Supply in the UK. We don't pay duty on things coming excuse me, from the UK here in Canada, so it makes it considerably cheaper than buying it from the States. And of course the US dollar is a bit ridiculous. So try and not buy very much from the States, which is unfortunate, but that's the way the dollar works. In any event, I'm adding in some more of the Indian yellow. I did the base layers in the Naples yellow, and now I'm adding in the Indian yellow. And then once I'm done these colors, I move on to the red, which when I first put it on, I went, woo! But then I began to really like it once I got used to the color. Now, if I was doing this on my own, I would never have picked red. But there you go. Try something new and you end up liking it. I also use the May green for the center of some of the flowers. I use the cad yellow for the center of others. I'm painting with a number 6 paintbrush. My paintbrushes are Escada Reserva 1212 series. This is the travel brush that I'm using for this. It's got the heavy brass fixture that comes off and goes over the brush that you can take it when you go outside on a day trip to paint. And it's a very comfortable brush to work with, I find. I quite like it. But I like all my brushes, so I'm not playing favorites, really, I'm not. Also, the dessert option for this challenge is feathers. So I will be adding a bird. There is a bird to this set, which is Altenew Wild Hibiscus. And there's a bird that comes with this set. There's also butterflies. And there's some sentiments. I just didn't use the sentiments that came with the set. I used some die-cut sentiments that I had. Actually, they're several years old, the ones I used from Tailored Expressions. So here's the bird. I've painted him with the Nouveau Aquaflow brush, and then stamped them, and then I went around all the edges to make sure they were all blue. And then here I've put cut a gold banner and attached it on fun foam. And I style the bird and attach it on a couple of foam squares. I also paint it with Wink of Stella, and when I bring the Wink of Stella over the Nouveau paint, it brings a bit of the blue into the ivory area, which I quite like. For the gold piece of the banner there, I also went around the edges of that piece as it die cut with a bit of white showing, so I went around it with the gold Wink of Stella brush. I had a couple dies cut in, one is cut in red glitter paper, the other in gold glitter paper that you can see already attached under the banner. This one I die cut in the watercolor paper and then painted it with the Nouveau Aquaflow brush. So I attached I'm doing like a shadow with the gold and red glitter paper, and I glue those on. And then I glue the spring sentiment on, and I add a white pearl as I didn't have any blue ones, and then I painted the pearl with a Sharpie marker in the same blue as the bird. So you'll see that in a minute. So here I'm just attaching the red over the gold and finishing up my spring sentiment. The Nouveau Aquaflow has a sparkle to it. They're quite pretty brushes. I only have the winter set for now, but I plan on getting more in due course. So this is finishing it up, and thank you so much for joining me today. And I appreciate you watching. And if you'll give me a thumbs up, that would be great too. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.